Hi, this is Trinity. I'm doing month 4 of observation without judgment. I'm doing this exercise for a full year, and I'm halfway through, and I'm doing this episode in my garden. I want a little change of scenery. And last month was really intense because things came to a head with my daughter and having to, move her out of her condo. She was never intended to live there by herself. That situation was just it's just been wrong for over a year. I've been planning, like, I know something's bad is going to happen, and I'm going to have to move her out and tell her to go to rehab and kind of cut her off because she's just out of control. And so something bad happened, and I executed my plan, and I'm going to live with the decision that I made. I'm pretty confident that I've made the right decision. And I can second guess myself, but I'm pretty confident that things are going to get better because even though I may not know what's going on with my daughter, she says that she's left the state, and I don't know because I can't believe until I get verification. I really don't know, and I may not know for a long time. I understand if she wants to cut me off and I don't hear from her for a while. That's okay. I would rather have her be happy without me. I mean, it's so hard. But I need to get back to me. That's what this exercise is about, me and learning how I function and how I can be a better person. So it's really time for me to go back to work. I can't live my life trying to fix my daughter because she's an adult. She's gonna go make a bunch of her own choices, and it's not about me. That is her journey, and it's not my place to try to tell her how to do her life. Ain't my place. I've done my job. I know I made a lot of mistakes as a parent, but I also did a lot of things right. That's also what this whole experience in the last month has really confirmed for me, that I'm not a horrible parent. I made mistakes, but I also did a lot of things right. So, okay, we're gonna move on. I got to get back to work on me because one cannot live for their children alone, and that's just a recipe for disaster. You gotta have something for yourself, or you ain't gonna be happy in the end. You're gonna be miserable. So for me, I don't want to go back to work in the job that I was working before the shutdown. I was a caregiver, and I really don't want to do that work anymore. I want to work from home. I want to get some creative, different sources of income, and so I'm working on that. And it's exciting. I'm really excited, even though it's been really hard and I've struggled. I really feel like I'm finally getting traction because I'm calling myself out on my bullshit. I mean, that's the biggest thing in this observation without judgment is I observe myself, lying to myself. I mean, what's the point of lying to yourself? That's just like you're just spinning around in circles. You're not going to get anywhere if you lie to yourself. And so I'll have a thought, and I'll have some train of thinking, and I'm like, oh, that's just so crap. Why do you even need to go there? It's like, it's bad habits. Like, I have habits of trying to manipulate and control and lie and cheat, steal, and do all this bullshit. It's habitual, and I think I'm finally starting to grow out of it. Because I don't need to do that. I realized when I observe myself full of crap, and I'm like, what's that about? What, you doing that again? You don't need to do that. You don't need to exaggerate to get your point across. I can actually say the truth and the reality of the situation, and I don't need to exaggerate. I don't need to do anything else. The truth itself is enough to get me where I want to go. And it's just using that properly. I mean, I guess, because having a habit of being deceptive for so long, like, I guess, at some point in my life that served me to be this, to be manipulative and conniving and really, really crazy. But, there's something to be said for learning and moving on and getting past some of the just immature behavior. Like, I could do better, you know? There's moments, like I had a moment the other day where it's like, I could choose to live with integrity in this moment. It's not going to cost me that much. It's actually going to cost me more in the long run to not live in that moment of integrity. And I'm really getting it like in little moments like that. That's really good for me. And I'm happy. That's the great thing. I've been sad, of course. I've cried a lot, but I'm also incredibly happy. It's like I'm more in touch with my feelings, because I'm not trying to hide from them like I used to. I don't need to, because I don't have as much fear about even my own thoughts and feelings. I mean, how can you face your fears and yourself if you're hiding? If you're always trying to run from one thing to another thing and do this other thing, and like you never catch yourself and really see what else is going on that's deeper. Yeah, this has been really good. I've really enjoyed this exercise, and I just want to continue observing myself without the judgment. That judgment creeps in there. And it's interesting. It's interesting just to watch myself shift and grow and know that I'm actually capable of so much more than I thought. That because once you change one perspective, you can change it, and you can see a different, whole completely different perspective. And life is not just climbing the ladder. I mean, it's like you're going here to there to over here, and you got to see it from over this angle and over here. It's not like a straight line in life. It's a zigzag, and here I go again. I'm so happy to have my house and my garden and my yard. I feel so grounded. Like, I live on the first floor. I'm so close to the earth. I feel so much better than I was a year ago. I mean, it's been a crazy year. So much has changed, and I feel just more of a confidence in myself. Like just watching people kind of go crazy with the lockdown, and like I'm actually really comfortable staying at home. Like, I mean, if somebody who has to travel with their career and that's really a big part of their life is traveling, I can see how this can be very limiting time, because your movements are being, I was able to move around as much as we used to, but that doesn't bother me as much. So, because I'm kind of used to being a loner and on my own, so I feel very kind of comfortable with the circumstances. And since I've already gone crazy, I can help people with that. I'm like, I kind of understand crazy talk, but I don't speak all the dialects. Just maybe like 90%. And I want to keep up with this practice of the observation without judgment every day. I really keep reading that quote that has been so helpful to me, and like just burning away everything that's no longer well suited to me. Like the old thoughts and feelings and perceptions can just sort of melt away and make space for something new. And since I have less fear now, because I've done this other stuff before, it's great that I don't have to come from a place of fear, of just survival mode, that I can actually see things from a completely different perspective. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this day and this opportunity. And I can't wait to learn more about myself.